Hey guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. Welcome back to my channel. Guys, thank you so much for allowing me to be part of your day. I don't know if it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, if we're going to bed, if we're waking up. I just want this part of your day to be really special. I want you to leave this video, hopefully with some food for thought, and to make your day a little bit brighter. Even though this seems to be a true crime channel, I'm not really sure what this channel's about, to be honest with you. Unjust. We deal with things that just seem to be unjust. How's that? That being said, let's talk about the Frankies. Franke'stein. Okay, guys, here's the thing. I watched the interview with Kevin, and we talked about that a little bit, with how I think Kevin probably didn't know the extent of what everything was going on with, his estranged wife. But as a dad, don't you feel an obligation to check on your kids, to see your kids? Don't you miss your kids? Well, here's the thing. Jodi Hildebrandt was convinced, and probably still convinced, that she's some sort of God. I've not studied a God like her. I'm not convinced she's a God. I think she's full of shit, actually. But she seemed to think that she was getting messages. So she said she was getting messages from God. And in order to stay in favor with God, you had to do what she was telling you to do from her Almighty. So Kevin thought that while he was listening to Jodi, he was also winning favor with his wife, Ruby. He was doing anything Ruby said. He was ready to sign over homes, cars, everything, because the love of his life is Ruby Franke. I think that might have changed. Now, when I had said that they were getting divorced and I thought maybe that had to do with money, I'm starting to think maybe not so much. Maybe when he saw his children and he saw those pictures of his children, maybe that dawned on him that he failed them. Because from my understanding, Kevin Franke is back in the Franke home. Chad was living in the Franke home. When Kevin got kicked out, they got kicked out together, apparently. They left together. Kevin got kicked out, but so did Chad. And then he went back to the home. Kevin went back to the home, and Chad went back to the home. And now apparently people meet up for Sunday dinners, including Shari, if we're to believe. So according to Chad, Shari, him, and his dad, Kevin, are really close now. So what does Kevin say to them when he didn't show up for them? Shari's been making noises about how bad things were in her own house, and Kevin didn't do anything. Why did it take so much for Kevin to see what was going on? Like, he knew things couldn't be right, but he was so brainwashed. And that's what Chad says too. I was brainwashed, Chad said. It wasn't until a couple weeks after my mom got arrested that I understood the BS of it all. He didn't say that. He's a Mormon. But he didn't understand. He really was convinced that what his parents said was true. What his mom said was true. That's dangerous. How is that? That's something that the Mormon church needs to step away and look at. And I know I'm pounding on the Mormon church, but you can't control your kids like that either. That is not America. You cannot just mess with your kids and call it, God. Is that the God? That's the Mormon church God that makes children suffer? I mean, that's the principles of the Mormon church. Why was Jodi Hildebrandt representing the Mormon church? Why was Jodi Hildebrandt given, why was she given business from the Mormon church when she had already had all these complaints about her? The Mormon church must have been getting some sort of kickback. And, Ruby Franke read her apology on stand, and then did she mean it? Did she mean it, or she said something to the effect of, Jodi finally caved because she didn't want to do life in prison. Well, did you cave first because you didn't want to do life in prison? I mean, you can't blame it all on Jodi. You got to own your shit, Ruby. And you messed up big time. Those kids, I don't know that those kids would ever trust you. I wouldn't trust you. But here's the thing about moms. We all want to be loved by our mom. And trust me, those two small Frankie kids want to be in favor of their mom. They're too young to understand that their mom is just so wackadoodled. And what could make her not be wackadoodled again? She's wackadoodled once, she could be wackadoodled twice. It didn't take much for Ruby to let her EVIL out. She was doing it anyway. Ruby just said, it's okay. You can do it. It's okay. Anybody in this world, there's a lot of people that will help prosper EVIL. There's a lot of people. Probably, I don't want to say more people because I don't want to believe that. But there are people that if they see negative in you, they can exploit that negative for themselves and for you. And you had a partner, a true partner in Jodi Hildebrandt. The love of your life, who you call Kevin, Frankie, Ruby Frankie, you kicked him out. And you shared your bed with Jodi Hildebrandt. You made plans with Jodi Hildebrandt. What happened? You got caught? You got caught and they said, well, unless you say something, you'll be doing life. You rolled on somebody that gave you the permission to behave so poorly. You rolled on her. The woman that gave you the permission to behave so poorly with her little rule book of poor behavior. And you wrote on that. I mean, there's two journals, right? There's two sets of journals. One's a journal that we were able to hear. Then there's these pen writings, which are even stranger. But here's a woman whose son was so exhausted, he wouldn't even react to getting stuck by cactus. And yet this woman is sticking him by cactus because he doesn't have the strength in him to stand anymore in the sun in Utah. Just standing out there in the burning sun in Utah because he wanted water, he got punished. And somehow, some way, all this woman had to do was say, it's her fault. It's her fault. And the judge said, okay, I won't give you as much time as her. I'll make a deal. Again, cops sitting back and saying, just tell us what happened. We'll run with it. Whoever says, I did it first, we're going to take your word for it. Whoever says they did it, we're going to take your word for it. We don't need to do any investigation. You know, even Chad Frankie says something about Pam Botcher. Pam Botcher with the two older, the middle children of the Frankie kids. So the ones that are just above Russell and just below Chad, there's two girls. They were at Pam's house cleaning Pam's house because Pam was having company come from another country. And you know what Pam said? Oh, they wanted to. Oh, they were excited about it. Where? Show me. Show me kids that love to clean. Please show me children that would love to spend all day cleaning somebody else's house. You guys exploited children? That's what you did. Suck it up. Own it. And please, can we please check out who Pam Botcher is? Because I believe Chad when Chad says, hey, somebody needs to check her out more. You know, even Kevin mentioned Pam Botcher. So she's somebody who's the president of this wonderful group that we called Connections. She's the president of it. How come cops aren't doing their job? Because she could be running something right now and we don't know anything about it. We're going to hear about it in the news when the next kid goes running to another person's house. Connections should be dismantled. Tell me what good came of it. Guys, I did want to end this on a happy note. The happy note is that Chad is spending time with Russell and Eve, the two younger of the Frankie children. The ones, Russell's my hero and Eve is my second hero because they had the courage. They had the courage to say this happened to me. And now I'm hoping that they say I didn't deserve it. It had nothing to do with me. this wasn't because of my behavior. Because you know that they also did try to destroy these kids' characters. You know, that Russell shouldn't be around anybody because he was touching people. I don't believe that. And the fact that you would say that about your child so that you looked better, you know what that shows? You've learned nothing. Ruby Franke, you've learned nothing. There's nothing but shame on you. And to be honest with you, you could rot in jail. Both of you. Both of you. Guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. Tell me what you think. These little Franke'steins. All right, guys. I'll see you next time. Don't forget, be better today than you were yesterday. Not as good as you'll be tomorrow. And always be yourself and be kind. Thanks, guys. Please like, subscribe, and share. I really appreciate it. Thank you.